From a pit maneuver in Columbus, Ohio that got a wrong-way driver off the road, and an armed robbery suspect who tried to evade police in Cobb County, Georgia, to a fleeing suspect in downtown LA that almost escaped from police, and much more. Here are some of the craziest police pit maneuvers caught on camera. In the small city of Glendale, Wisconsin, about 10 miles north of Milwaukee, 4 suspects broke into a home and stole the owner's Volkswagen. The call came into Glendale PD around 3:23 p.m. A stolen white vehicle was speeding through the city like Grand Theft Auto. Multiple officers pursued the vehicles for several miles. The driver performed all kinds of reckless moves to try and evade police. At one point, they pulled into a park and tore up the grass. Once they got back onto the road, police knew this chase had to end.
Hit a pole. We're going to be coming out onto Hampton. Squads coming out onto Hampton.
768 is still northbound. Still northbound. We're going to come out onto Hampton. 768 is losing a lot of it. Still southbound.
That pole.
768,
As you can tell from this clip, a successful pit doesn't take much force. The lead officer taps the back of the white car and it spins out. The driver overcompensates, takes out a telephone pole, and crashes. Inside, police found 4 suspects: a 35-year-old woman, an 18-year-old woman, and 2 teenage boys. All 4 were taken into custody, though the police never clarified which of the 4 was behind the wheel. You can hear a woman yelling, "Those are my kids," so we imagine the 35-year-old was driving with her teenage sons in the back seat. On February 18th of 2018 in Columbus, Ohio, officers from the 7th Precinct got a call about a white Ford Taurus driving the wrong way down I-670. Officers Jeff Ward and Josh Buck were heading eastbound when they saw the driver coming right toward them. They flipped on their lights and pulled a quick U-turn. For a moment, the driver looked like they were going to slow down and stop, but then they stepped on the gas. After a successful pit, officers took 26-year-old Roger Ford Jr. into custody. Apparently, he was heavily intoxicated. Wrong-way drivers are extremely dangerous. They usually don't realize they're on the wrong side of the road until it's too late. They're either distracted or, in most cases, intoxicated. According to AAA, nearly 3,000 fatal wrong-way accidents occurred between 2010 and 2018. As expected, the most common causes are drunk drivers. On April 21st of 2014, a narcotics suspect led the LAPD on a harrowing chase through downtown LA. While it looks cool in the movies, the busy streets are no place for a high-speed pursuit. An officer positioned themselves to disable the vehicle. Helicopter footage of the chase shows what happens when a pit maneuver doesn't go as planned. A precision immobilization technique, also known as a pit maneuver, is when officers nudge the back of a speeding vehicle, causing it to spin out of control. While it technically worked in this clip, there was too much room for the driver to recover. In fact, hitting the street sign and curb probably kept them from losing control. Our driver kept running and eventually pulled into a cul-de-sac in Downey, a small city south of downtown LA. He refused to get out of the car, forcing a long standoff with dozens of police officers. On May 6th of 2016, in the small city of Greenfield, Wisconsin, 4 teenage car thieves led police on a 100-mile-per-hour chase down a busy main road. They got pulled over after stealing an SUV from a dealership. When the officer asked to see their license and registration, they bolted. These kids weren't out for a simple joyride. They weaved in and out of traffic, ran red lights, and put other people in danger. At one point, one of them fired a gun out of the window. Our Greenfield officer had a tough decision to make. A pit maneuver at these speeds could be extremely dangerous. On the other hand, if he doesn't stop this car, these kids could easily hurt themselves and somebody else. The SUV skidded over the median and crashed into a concrete pole. The car was totaled, but the 4 teenage suspects escaped on foot. That said, one of them was wearing a GPS ankle bracelet after a different carjacking incident. They weren't too hard to find. Some people questioned whether a pit maneuver at 100 miles per hour was safe in the first place. Police Chief Brad Wentland said his officer made a judgment call to save lives. He said it was probably a speed that we would discourage, but that's part of the learning process. Not all police departments are allowed to use pit maneuvers. It depends on the jurisdiction's pursuit policy. Officers undergo special training to safely execute a pit if their department allows it. On May 24th of 2023 in Cobb County, Georgia, a robbery suspect thought he could outrun the police. The man, whose identity was not released, was already wanted for armed robbery. He allegedly stole a pickup truck and was fleeing the state when the police caught up with him. The driver weaved in between cars as police tried to surround him. Things escalated when traffic became congested on I-75. The suspect sped down the shoulder at over 80 miles per hour. When he hit the exit ramp, one of the officers made their move.
For heavy traffic on the right shoulder, 80 miles an hour. Get off of Windy Hill.
There's a third place to be at if it's clear.
Now that's what you call a perfectly executed pit maneuver. Notice how the other officers surround the guy and prevent the suspect from driving away? Normally, they'd swarm in and arrest the guy, but this suspect was extra dangerous. He opens the door and drops his firearm on the ground. Then, he pulls out a knife, so officers draw on him. At one point, we hear an officer yell, "We need less lethal." In policing, less lethal refers to a wide variety of non-lethal weapons. This includes pepper spray, tasers, batons, and rubber bullets. From another body cam POV, we see an officer load a rubber cartridge into his weapon. The standoff finally ends with the suspect saying, "I just wanted to get away." Don't they all? On April 21st of 2023, 21-year-old Adam Crosby and 30-year-old Sam Simpson got pulled over in Brevard County, Florida. Their car was suspected of being involved in a large-scale trafficking ring. To nobody's surprise, they ran. Crosby led Florida troopers on a high-speed chase down I-95. They boxed him in at one point, but Crosby refused to slow down. He left the police with no choice but to pit him. Have you ever seen someone give up so quickly? This video shows how easily the pitting officer can lose control of their car. Watch how he has to recover quickly after veering onto the grass. According to reports, Crosby kept muttering how he had just gotten out of prison and had too much to lose. Maybe next time he won't fall back into narcotics smuggling. If you enjoyed this video and want to see another just like it, then be sure to click the link on screen now. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.